Hello students, in this video lecture we are going to learn about data structures. Myself Prasmita Akshaya presenting this video for your benefit. So let us start with the built-in data types. So here in Python programming language there are 4 built-in data types. The first one is text type, which you will call it as a string. Second is a numeric types. There are 2 things that you can say as numeric types. One is integer, another one is float. Third one is complex sequence types. In this we have list, tuple and range. Next one is mapping type, which is nothing but a dictionary. In this, complex sequence types and mapping types, these two are considered as data structures in Python. Now let us understand. So in this we are going to learn about list data structure, tuple data structure, range and dictionary. These 4 things we are going to learn in this video lecture. Now let us understand what is list data type. So lists are used to store multiple items in a single variable. So lists are created using square brackets. These 2 points you have to remember. Lists are used to store multiple items in a single variable, and we have to use square brackets to create a list. So for example, when we want to create a list, we will be storing the list of values in square brackets and they all stored with a single name. So when you print this name, automatically all these variables, all these items are printed on the screen. Now coming to the actual thing, list items are ordered. So they will be ordered and you can change these list items. That means you can add, remove or insert one more item, delete the elements. All these things you can do. That is why it is considered as changeable, and it also allows duplicate values. Remember, list data items are ordered, changeable and allows duplicate values. So list items are also indexed. That means the first item has index 0, second item has index 1. Like this, every item will have an index number. So how to access the list items? So list items are accessed by referring to the index number. So for example, here we are writing some code like this. So this list is having apple, banana and cherry as its items. So we know that index always starts with 0. So apple will be having this list of 0 index, banana will be in this list of 1 and cherry is in this list of 2. So when we want to print this list of 1, means you want to print banana. So banana will be the output. Now let us see the next example. List 1 contains physics, chemistry 1997 and 2000 as its items, and list 2 contains 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 and 70 as its items. So when you are printing list 1 of 0, that means list 1 of 0 is physics. This will be printed, and you are asking to print list 2 of 1. So list 2 of 0 is 10, list 2 of 1 means 20. So first it will be printing physics and then it will be printing 20. So this will be your output. So now coming to the list data type, there are negative indexing also possible. So when you are using negative indexing, that means you are coming from the right to left, backward direction. So -1 refers to the last item in the list, -2 refers to the last but one item in the list. So for example, this list is equals to apple, banana, cherry. So when you want to print this list of -1, -1 means last element, which is cherry. So output will be cherry. We can specify a range of indexes by specifying where to start and where to end in the range. So when you are specifying a range, the return value will be another list with the specified items. So now the search begins from the starting index which you have specified where to start, including the starting index, and ending index will be excluding the ending index. So for example, this list is equals to apple, banana, cherry, orange, kiwi, melon and mango. And in this we want to create a new list which will be having the second index value as well as fourth index value, up to fourth index value. So this is this list of 0, it is not considered. This list of 1, it is also not considered. This list of 2 is considered. This list of 3 is considered. This list of 4 is considered. This list of 5 is not considered, and this list of 6 is also not considered because we are using the range, starting range is 2, that is 0, 1, 2. That means from cherry you are going to start, and ending index is 5. 5 means you have to take 4 only because you are not including the ending index. So 2, 3, 4. These 3 elements forms a new list. So now we are having cherry, orange and kiwi in this list. Now let us understand list operations. If you are using plus operator, it concatenates the list. See here, A is having 1, 2, 3 as the list items. B is having 4, 5, 6 as the list items. If you take C as A plus B, that means you are going to combine 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 and it will be printed like this. If you are using star operator, it will repeat a list in the given number of times. So let us suppose 0, I want to repeat this 0 4 times. So it will be printing 0, 0, 0 and 0. And here there is a list 1, 2, 3 and I want to repeat this list for 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, 1 time, 1, 2, 3, second time, 1, 2, 3, third time. So 3 times it is printing the same list of elements. Now how to update the list? We can update single or multiple elements of the list by giving the slice on the left hand side of the assignment operator and can add to the elements in the list. So now take an example. List is equals to physics, chemistry, 1997 and 2000. Now you want to print the values available at index 2. So this is index 0, index 1 and index 2. That means you want to print this 1997. Now list 2 is equals to 2001. That means you have changed the list of second position. 1997 is changed with 2001. Now if you want to print the values of the list, then automatically you will get physics, chemistry 2001 and 2000, and you want to print only list of 2. So earlier it was 1997, now it is changed with 2001. How to delete a list element? As we said, list elements are changeable. So we have added the list elements and also we have modified the list element at the second position. Now we are looking at how to delete the list elements. So when you want to remove the list element, it can be done in 2 ways. First is using the del statement. Second one is to use the remove statement. If you are using the del statements, and these statements can be used only if you know exactly which element you want to delete. If you don't know which element you want to delete, use the remove method. So see this example. List 1 is containing physics, chemistry, 1997, 2000 as the list items. So when you print, entire list will be printed as it is. And you are deleting list 1's second element. That means 0th element, first element and second element. Means you want to remove this 1997 from the given list. Now after deleting that element, you want to print the list, means you will be getting only physics, chemistry and 2000 as its answers. So first time when you are printing print list 1, it has printed everything as it is. But after deleting this element, when you are printing list 1, it has removed 1997 and has given these elements as the list. Now A is having minus 1, 1, 66.25, 333, 333 and 1234.5 as the list elements, and we are using del function, and you want to use delete a particular positioned element, which is A of 0th position element, means this one you want to remove and you are printing that A. So what we are getting? Except this, I am getting entire thing as it is. Now I want to remove using a slicer. That means you have to include the second position and you have to exclude the fourth position. That means you want to remove second and third elements only. So in that case, 0th position, first position is there, second and third is removed, and fourth position will be as it is. Now del can also be used to delete the entire set of variables. So in that case you simply say del A and you don't get any answer once you want to print A. Now let us see the methods in list. The list data type has some more methods like append of x. If you are using the function append, means you are going to add an item at the end of the existing list. Next one, extend of L. That means you are going to extend the list by appending all the items in the given list of elements. Insert I comma x. That means you are providing the position and the value you want to store at that position. So you can insert at a given position a new element. So the first argument is the index of the element before which you want to insert. So if I say a dot insert 0 comma x, means you are going to store this x value before 0th location, so at the front position. If I say a dot insert length of a comma x, which is equivalent to, you are going to append that x in the end of the list. Remove of x. That means you want to remove the first element from the list whose value is x. So if that x is not available in the list, then you will get an error. Pop of I. That means you are going to remove the item at the given position in the list. This is the position you are giving. In that position, what are the element is there that you are going to remove and return it. If no such index exists, then a dot pop, it will remove and return the last item in the list. Now index of x. That means you want to return the index of this particular element in the list when it occurs for the first time. So returns the index in the list of the first item whose value is x. If no such value exists, you will get an error. Now count. So it will return the number of times x appeared in the list. Now sort. Sort means you want to sort all the elements in the place. Reverse. You can take all the elements in the reverse order. So now let us see an example that shows some of the methods. A is equals to 66.25, 333, 333, 1, 1234.5. Now I want to use print a dot count 333. How many times this 333 has occurred in your list? 2 times. So you will get the answer as 2. So a dot count 66.25. How many times it came? Only 1 time. So its answer will be 1. So a dot count of x. X is an string. So in this given list we don't have x. So list it will print 0. So first one is 2, next one is 1 and this one is 0. That will be printed. Now a dot insert 2 comma minus 1. That means you want to insert at the last position, you want to store 2. Sorry, insert 2 comma minus 1 means you want to insert, this is the position, this is the x means the value. So at the second position you want to store minus 1. So in the given list, 0th position, first position, second position, at this position you want to store minus 1. Then append 333. Append means existing list, at the end you are going to store whatever the value is given. So our list will be like 66.25, 333, and in the second position you want to store minus 1, so minus 1 came, after that 333, and then 1 will be stored as it is, 1234.5 stored as it is, and at the end we are storing 333. Now we are having this list and you want to find out the index of 333. When you are saying index of 333, in this list we have 333 in 3 times, but this will give the index of first time when it occurs. So it is at the first position. So you will be getting 1 as answer. Now you want to remove 333. So when you want to remove 333, it will be removing because we are having number of times 333 is repeated in the given list, but remove statement method will remove the first occurrence of that particular value and the remaining values will be as it is, because duplicates are allowed. When you say a dot reverse, then it will be printing in the reverse order. 333 printed first, 1234.5 is printed next, 1 is printed, then this value is printed, then this value is printed, and then this value. So it is completely in the reverse order. And you want to sort. So these elements are sorted like minus 1, 1, 66.25, 333, 333, and then 1234.5 as its answers. Now, how to use list as stacks? So the list method make it very easy to use the list as stacks, where it will follow last in first out, LIFO method. The last element added will be the first element to be removed. So to add an item at the top of the stack, we use append because it is at the end it is storing. And to remove an item from the top of the stack, use pop function without an explicit index. If you are not providing any index, it is taking the last element from the list. For example, here stack is the name of the list and it contains 3, 4, 5 as list items, and you have appended 6, that means after 5 6 will be added, and you are appended 7, after 6 7 will be added, and you are trying to print the values of stack, it will give 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now stack dot pop function without any index, it will pop the last element which is existing in the list. So 7 is removed. Again, if you use stack dot pop, it will be removing the last element which is 6. Now again you are using, that means it is removing 5. So now the list contains 3 and 4 only. Now it is also possible to use a list as a queue. So queue, what is the principle of queue? Queue will be first in, first out. That means the element which is stored first will be the first element to be removed. So when you are appending and pops from the end of the list is very easy because that is stack operation. But doing insertions or pops from the beginning of the list is little slow, means queue operations in list are slow, stack operations with list is faster. So implement a queue, use collections. DQ, which was designed to have fast appends and pops from the both ends. Dec means you can add elements at the end, but removing can be done from the both ends. Now see the example. you are using collections and you are importing dec operation, and using dec operation you have stored some elements. So if you want to print the original list, it will be printed as it is. This is printed as it is. First one is Linux, second is programming, and third one is script. Now I want to use queue.append. So where the elements are added in a queue at the end. So ECE has to be added after script and section will be added after script, because this is the name of the list, and append function will add the elements at the end of the list. So after this your list will be like this: Linux, programming, script, ECE and section. Now we are using a method called pop left. Pop left is a method which will remove the beginning of the list. So after removing first two elements, that is first pop left will remove Linux and second pop left will remove programming. Now there are three built-in functions which are very useful in the list programming. So those three functions are filter, map and reduce. Now let us see what is that. A filter function comma sequence. So it will returns a sequence consists of the items from the sequence for which this item is true. Now there is a program. Fx is a function which will return x mod 2 is not equals to 0 and x mod 3 is not equals to 0. And you are calling the function with a range 2 comma 25 and you are using the filter function. What it is doing? It returns a sequence which consisting of the items from the sequence for which this function is true. So what we are going to do here is first element is 2 and the last element will be 24. So you will be taking x value as 2. So first thing that you are going to use is x mod 2 is not equals to 2. So 2 divided by 2, remainder equals to 0 only. Next one, x mod 3 is not equals to 0. So 2 by 3 if you are doing, it is not equals to 0. So this one is true, but it is false. False and true when you are using, this will be false. So x value is not printed. Now it will go for next function, which is 3, because we have taken the range from 2 to 24. So now we are taking 3 mod 2 equals to 0. No, it is not equals to 0. So this is true. Now you are checking the next one. 3 mod 3 is equals to 0. Yes, this is true. So false and true means it is false. Now it will take x value as 4. So 4 by 2 equals to 0 and 4 by 3 is not equals to 0. So 4 is also not true. So now you are taking x equals to 5. When you divide 5 with 2, it will not give you 0. So, and if you divide 5 by 3, this will also not give you 0. So both are true. This function is true as well as this function is true for x equals to 5. So 5 will be printed. Then it will take 6, it will take 7, like that it will take each and every element. 7 is also not divided by 2 and not divided by 3, but 6 is divided by 2 as well as 3. So So only 7 will be printed. Like that, it is going to print only the prime numbers between 2 and 24. Now, the next functional is map function. We have learned filter. Now we are learning map function. This is also taking a function and a sequence. So now what it will do means, it will call the function with a given item for each element in the sequence. Now see this one, define means it is a function. What you are defining is a cube function. What it will do, whatever the item you are given, that will be multiplied 3 times and it will return that value. So now we are calling the function cube with the range between 1 to 11. That means you are going to multiply 1 cube, that means 1. 2 cube minus 8 means 8. So like that you are going to do up to 1 to 10. So it is printing 1, 2 cube is 8, 3 cube is 27, 4 cube is 64, 5 cube is 125. Like this it is doing up to 10 values. Now the third functional tool is reduce. This is also taking a function and sequence. Now what it is doing is returns a single value constructed by calling the library function. Now see this one, add x comma 5, return x plus y. Now you are sending 1 comma 11. So first time it is taking 0 plus 1, it is added. Then 1 plus 2 it is added. So how it is working? First time it will return 1. Then it will be doing 1 plus 2. That means it is coming 2 means 3. So when x value is 1, y value is 2. 1 plus 2 equals to 3. Next, this will be added as your x value and plus next y value is 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. Now 6 plus 4, which is 10. Then 10 plus 5 equals to 15. Next, 15 plus 6 is 21. So 21 plus 7 is 28. 28 plus 8 is 46. So like this it is going to do the calculations. So how long it is going to do? Up to 10 only. So what you are getting is 55 as its answer. Now see the loops in the list. We can loop through the list of items using a for loop. So example here, this list is containing the list items as apple, banana and cherry. So here you are taking a variable x, which is an iterative variable from the list, this list. So when you are printing the x, first time x will be 0th location, that is apple. Next time x will be first location, then second location. So it is printing apple, banana and cherry. Now we can also loop through the list of items by referring to their index numbers. So for that, use range and length functions to create a suitable iterable. So for example, this list is containing same list of elements. Earlier we used x in this list only we have taken, but here we are taking an index variable I, and we are taking range function and also length function. So what the length function is doing, it is calculating the length of the list. So list length is 3. So we are going to store the 0th element, which is apple, and then second time you are taking first element banana, third time cherry. So we can also loop through the list of items by using a while loop. Not only for loop, we can also use a while loop. So here I value is this is the index variable which is starting from the 0 index, and you are checking which is less than list. That means length of this list is 3. So 0 is less than 3. So you are printing 0th location element which is apple. Then I value is incremented by 1. So again you will check 1 is less than 3. So it is printing this list of 1 which is banana, and I value is incremented. Now it is 2. 2 is less than 3. So this list of 2 which is cherry is printed. Then again I value is incremented by 1, and now it is 3. So 3 is less than 3 which is false. So it is stopped. So your output will be apple, banana and cherry as well. Now what is list comprehensions? List comprehensions provide you a simple way to create the list without restoring to use of map, filter and lambda. So it offers a shorter syntax when you want to create a new list based on the values of the existing list. So this is a way of creating a new list without using map, filter and lambda functions. What is the syntax? The new list equals to expression for the item in iterables if condition equals to true. So the written value is the new list, leaving the old list unchanged. Old list will be as it is, but using this syntax you can create one more list. Now see, without list comprehension you have fruits, apple, banana, cherry, kiwi and mango, and you want to create a new list. So how you are creating? You are using X, and where this X is coming from? Fruits. What is fruits? Fruits is the name of the list. So you are checking with the if condition. If the condition is true, then you are going to append that in the list. So what I want is in X, if there is A, I am going to add that item into the new list. So here A is there, so apple will be appended into the new list. Now banana is also having A, so this will also added to the end of the new list. Means apple is stored, after that banana is stored. Now you are going to check A is there in cherry? No, so it is not stored. Kiwi? No, A is not there, so it is also not stored. And now it is going to mango. Mango is having a, so it will be stored in the new list. So it will be having apple, banana and mango as its list. So I am not used list comprehension here. So I am writing for loop, inside that I am writing if condition. And how can I use with comprehension? So same fruits list I have taken, and I am creating the new list by using X for X in the fruits if A in X. So I am taking X, means every element, and also checking in these fruits if A is in the X, then I am going to print that into the list. So you will be getting the same answer what you have done here. Now coming to the tuple. Tuples are used to store multiple items in a single variable. So it is a collection which is ordered and unchangeable. In the list it is ordered, changeable and it also allows duplicates. Here in tuple it is ordered and unchangeable, and it will be stored in the round brackets, and whereas list is stored in the square brackets. So here create a tuple colon, this tuple equals to apple, banana, cherry. Print this tuple. That means it is printing apple, banana and cherry. You have created a tuple now. Multiple items are stored under a single name. So it is ordered and unchangeable, remember this, and it allows duplicates also. So it is also having indexes. First element will be at the 0th index, next element will be in the first index. Like that you can have any number of indexes based on your tuple items. So in this example we have created my tuple. My tuple is having the values PERMIT, permit. So if I am printing my tuple of 0, it will print P. If I am using my tuple of 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So T will be printed. And we have created one more tuple. This one more tuple is having multiple items like array elements. Okay. So mouse is a string, 846 is a list, 123 is a tuple. Now I am printing n tuples 0th index in that third position. So 0th index means this element. In this third position 0, 1, 2, 3, that means S will be printed. Now in the n tuple I am going for the first index and first index. That means 0th and first. In this it is 0th and first. So 4 will be printed for this. And again I am going to my tuple, means this one. And I am printing minus 1. Minus 1 means you are coming from the right to left, which is the first element is T. Now you are going to print minus 6. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5 and minus 6. So P will be printed. So this will be your output. So my tuple of 0 means P. My tuple of 5 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So T is printed. And then tuple 0, 3 means 0, 1, 2, 3. So S will be printed. Tuple 1, 1, n tuple 1, 1 means this one in this 4 is printed. Now tuple minus 6 means this is my tuple. My tuple minus 1 means T will be printed. My tuple minus 6 means P will be printed. So this is how you can access the elements. Now see what is set. Sets are also used to store many number of elements under single variable. So it is also a collection where both it is unordered and unindexed list. So sets are written in curly brackets. There is no order, there is no index. So you are creating a set. This set equals to everything, you have to keep it under curly brackets. When you are printing, it will print apple, banana and cherry. Since the list is unordered, that means items can appear in any order. So it is unchangeable and it won't allow the duplicate values. So for example, apple, banana, cherry, again we have given apple. And you are going to print this set, means the list of elements you want to print. And I said it will not allow duplicate values. So apple, banana and cherry only will be printed. Now coming to the dictionary. So dictionaries are used to store data values in key value pairs. It is not stored only as value. It is a key value pairs. So in this collection, the list of elements are unordered. It can print in any order and you can change the values of the dictionary and it will not allow any duplicates. Sets won't allow duplicates. Dictionaries also don't allow duplicates. So dictionaries are written in curly brackets. Sets are also written in curly brackets, but sets are having only individual items, whereas dictionaries contains key value pairs. So create dictionary. This dictionary equals to the values you have provided and you want to print this dictionary. So it will be printing roll number is 501, name is A. Srinivasulu, group is CSC. That way only it will print. Now dictionary items are unordered. They can be printed in any order and changeable. That means you can add, remove or modify the elements, but it does not allow any duplicates. So these are presented in key and value pairs and can be referred to using the key name. So for example, name equals to Jock, A is equals to 26. If you say my dictionary of name, means you are referring to the key name, automatically it will print the value. So here also you are getting age. To get the age, you are using get age. So when you say the key value, it will print the value. So this is all about data structures, how it can be used in Python programming. This is all for today's video lecture. We will meet in the next video with a new topic. Have a nice time. Take care.